Hey, Sansers, Anthony and Rose. Today we're doing more country swing. Now, country swing is the fastest growing of all the country dances. It's got a cool pattern today called the cuddle and the cuddle drop. You guys are gonna like this one, so stick around.
It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
You ever been like really into a movie and like an 8-year-old walks in the middle of the movie and has to ask everybody what's going on? Don't be that person. This is part 2 of Country Swing. The first video is right here. Make sure you've watched that one first. Now, if you are brand new to this channel, welcome. We do all of the country dances from two-step to waltz to West Coast swing, country swing. But you're gonna notice this little button down here and it says subscribe. Now, if you click that button, then you become an X dancer and you'll know when all the awesome stuff happens here on the channel. We're gonna demonstrate the cuddle and cuddle drop, and then we're gonna break it down. All right, guys, the cuddle and cuddle drop. Here we go.
It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling.
Guys, here's how we're gonna do this. We're gonna demonstrate the first part, but we've already taught you this. So if you haven't watched that first video, that's right here. Make sure you know that stuff first, because we're gonna be branching from that into this. So it's gonna start with the pattern that we taught the last time, the alternating underarm turns, but from there, then we get into this cuddle, which is the portion we're gonna be teaching you guys today. Now, for the sake of this video, rather than starting this 1 and 2, we're just gonna start with the rock step for demonstration purposes, okay? So if we were facing each other with 2 hands and I rocked back with my left foot and Rose rocked back with her right foot, and we went and 2, which is quick, quick. From there, I'm gonna be bringing her in as I step in place. That's 1 step, and then we both rock step back. So if we watch that from this angle, we have rock step, I step in place, and rock step. Now, let's talk about the arm position here. All right, so if we have 2 hands, I'm gonna be raising my left hand up and across her face, like basically over top of her head, and she's just gonna be stepping underneath, and we end up in this cradle or cuddle position. The thing we gotta know about this position is that from her shoulders to her elbow, we want those parallel to each other. So we don't wanna squeeze her across her chest. We want that to be here. But what I want you guys to do is just practice getting out of position. Forget about the footwork for now. I don't care about that. We'll get into that in a second. But I just want you to raise that left hand up, bring it over her head, bring it back down into that cuddle position. All right, guys, so for the footwork, we have a rock step, and she turns on that step, and then we both rock back. Now, you'll notice that I'm off to the side of her. I am not behind her. That's going to suck if you do that. And then she comes out for a step and rock step. So the turns happen for the step, and then we rock in place, we turn for the step, and rock in place. So we have rock, step, she turns for the step, and then we rock, step in place. She turns, we rock, she turns, and we rock. Now, the important thing here is that the turns happen on that step, that single step, not 2 step, not 3, just 1 step. That turn has to start and finish during that 1 step so that you are there and ready to rock in place. All right, so if you watch that again, if we started this from rock, step, she turns and finishes, rock, step, she turns and finishes. The hands go from up to down during that slow step. So I gotta bring the hand up, but finish by the end of that step so that we're there for the rock step. Same way on the way back out. I bring it back up, we bring the hand back down at the end of that step. So if you watch that again, the hand's gotta come up at the end of the rock step and finish before the rock step. I bring it up and finish and rock step. Don't just leave the hand up there, because if you leave the hand up there, she's gonna feel like she's gonna want to continue to turn. So it's important you bring it up and say, hey, we're done, we go, and then we're done. So now if you watch this as it blends into the other stuff, we're gonna go 1 and 2, 3. Now we're in that position for rock step, step, rock step, turn, rock step, turn, rock step. All right, guys, so again, this is what this is gonna look like to music.
Making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling.
All right, guys, we're gonna take this to the next level with the cuddle drop. But before we do, click on that link right there. That's xdance.com. It will give you guys a free month. This pattern, the cuddle, is broken down into huge detail with every aspect covered. Free month of that. Just click there. All right, guys, the cuddle drop. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna demonstrate what it is, how to do it, and then we're gonna show you how to use it into this pattern. So if we were in any position, basically in any dance, but in this position where I could roll her in and catch that hand to bring her into that cuddle position. From there, there's gonna be the drop. It's kind of like a lean where she just kind of leans against me and I lean down and then I stand up and bring her back out, okay? So that, again, can be used in a lot of different things. We're gonna show you how to do it in this. So if we were doing that cuddle and we were kind of coming in and out doing this, at some point when she comes out, she's gonna be in that position that we were in. All we're gonna do is bring her back in like we're going to do the cuddle, but we're gonna rotate her body a little bit, hold her close to us and lean that down. Then when we bring her up, then we're gonna send her out. From there, we can lead any other swing pattern that we wanna lead. Okay, so let's talk about this cuddle drop just a little bit. This has to be basically right up against me. So when I do this, we've got to basically brace her weight. So if I'm in this position, you'll notice my hip is basically up against hers. So she's up against my body so that I can support her on the way down. All I'm doing is transferring my weight from my right foot to my left foot and starting to lower. To bring her back up, all I got to do is go from this foot to that foot. It's just where do I place my weight, okay? So when I bring her in, I'm gonna bring her into a place where she's close, take that opposite hand, and then I've gotta make sure that my hip is close to hers where she has something to brace on. Now she can do that with the leg up like Rose is doing it. She can keep the legs down. There's a lot of different positions, but the biggest thing is she doesn't let her head and her foot totally lean over. The weight is primarily supported here through her center so that her head is still partially over top of her hips. Because if her head is over top of the hips, the weight's kind of this way a little bit more, not just this way. The more her head leans over, the more like, oh my gosh, I can't support your weight. Now, Rose only weighs 43 pounds, of course, but 43 pounds is a lot when you're holding it out to the side, okay? So when she rolls in, I've got to keep her close. Now that weight has got to be supported primarily or partially here so that I've got her and she can keep her upper body relatively straight, okay? Now if she does it the other way and she leans her head over, this is going to get really, really heavy and we don't want that, okay? So when we're doing this pattern, we're basically just gonna bring her into whatever thing that we're doing. We can get into that cuddle, send her back out, roll her in, receive that hand or not. You can go to the shoulder, whichever way is best for you, but you are gonna wanna get really close, lean, bring her up, send her out for a rock step, and then you can do whatever's next. All right, guys, we're gonna show you what this whole thing looks like to music in just a second. Before we do, keep in mind that this is part 2 of a series of country swing dance, okay? Next time we'll be doing the peekaboo. That is a cool pattern that branches off of this. And by the way, if you've not done so already, check out xdance.com. That is the next level of dance instruction. So we'll demonstrate that to music and then we'll see you guys next time for the peekaboo.
It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
All right, guys, we're gonna take this up a notch and show you the cuddle drop. Is that what I drop? Okay, not cuddle lean.
Drop.
Oxygen. Deep breath.
Is it necessary?
What? To breathe?
Good.
I wonder.
I take your dancing to the next level? The next liver? All right, guys, great. You are swingers now. Congratulations. Now, if you really want to take your dancing to the next level, head to this link up here. That's xdance.com. Or if you want to watch the next video, that one's down here. Either way, we'll see you next time.